a one world economy. It's on a fast track and it's in the making. The mark of the beast technology. We're not saying the mark of the beast is here. We're saying the technology is being developed and accepted. People are being conditioned for the idea of a mark that they can, will have to be able to buy or sell. One world government. We've got conferences openly being held on that very thing. One world government. It's in their title. One held last year. One will be held again this year. And the United Arab Emirates, they brag about their one world government summit, and a one world government is in the making. How about a one world religion? That's in the making. The Jews returning to Israel in historical numbers. The third temple in Jerusalem. Lots of talk. We'll get into that more with an update tonight. Lots of talk about a third temple in Jerusalem. The red heifers. We talked about the 5 red heifers that have been moved from Texas to Israel. And by this September, if one of those 5 can stay the red color it needs to without any blemishes, they could sacrifice that red heifer and use its ashes for the purification ceremonies to begin, well, the third temple, the ceremonies of a third temple or a temporary tabernacle, the red heifer. Israel's treasure. We talked about Israel being, rich with natural gas, also potentially rich with gold, oil, and many other things. In fact, the Bible says that the enemies of Israel will invade her for her treasure. What could that be? We looked at some of those treasures Israel's discovering and continuing to find even now at this time. Israel surrounded by her enemies. Indeed, we see right there in Syria, right next door is Iran and Turkey and Russia, right inside Syria on Israel's border. Jews, well, they're prepared to be deceived by a false Messiah. They think they're even talking, some of the rabbis, to the Messiah now. They think he's now here. And he's either a false Messiah or the Antichrist. I don't know. The point is, the Jews are telling us, those religious leaders there, that they're ready to be deceived by a false Messiah. Here they're talking to one. What else do we see? Well, the rise of anti-Semitism. The Bible speaks about this, and it's rising. Global famine, plagues, wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes, the rise of apostasy, the rise of false Christs, the rise of humanism and hedonism. Man is God, the pursuit of pleasure, the rise of false prophets. Well, why are we looking at these things? Because Jesus himself said in Luke chapter 21, verse 28, now when these things begin to happen, notice these things, not any one thing, a collection of things. When these begin to happen, look up and lift up your heads because your redemption draws near. Talking about the second coming of Christ, not the rapture, but the second coming of Christ. Now, if these are signs for the approaching second coming of Christ, and if you hold to, as I do, a pre-tribulation rapture, then that means the rapture would be very, very imminent, because the coming of the Lord, the second coming, seems to be very imminent, right? Jesus said, you see these things happening, and many of these things are now happening, and they're happening at the same time. Never before in world history have we seen all these things happening at one time as they are now. Never. The stage is being set for Bible prophecy to be fulfilled.